Welcome to my channel Karma Romance Stories. Please like, subscribe for more videos.
I was 18 when my stepfather threw my backpack onto the front lawn and locked the door behind me. My mother stood inside crying but never opened the door. His last words followed me for 15 years. "You are not my blood. You deserve nothing from this family." I believed him until the day I walked into a Medicaid office completely broke. The clerk entered my social security number. Her hands stopped moving. Her face turned white. She quietly called her supervisor. He looked at my file, then looked at me and whispered one word that changed everything I thought I knew about my past. That single word uncovered a secret buried for decades and forced powerful people to answer for the biggest lie of my life. Stay with me because every minute of this story changes everything. I grew up believing I was the unwanted child. My biological father supposedly disappeared before I was born. That was the story everyone repeated. My stepfather reminded me almost every day that I was not his responsibility. Every birthday felt like a reminder that I did not belong. Every family dinner ended with another insult. My younger half-siblings received everything while I learned to survive with almost nothing. When I turned 18, my stepfather finally did what he had threatened for years. He packed my clothes into trash bags and threw them outside. He told me never to return. My mother cried but never stopped him. I walked away with no money, no education plan, and nowhere to sleep. The next several years were brutal. I worked construction warehouses, restaurants, and night shifts. I slept in old cars, cheap motels, and homeless shelters. Every paycheck disappeared before the next one arrived. Still, I refused to quit. I believe hard work would eventually change my life. Instead, life became even harder. An injury at work left me unable to lift heavy equipment. Medical bills piled up. My savings disappeared. At 32, I had no choice but to apply for Medicaid. I felt embarrassed walking into that office. The waiting room was crowded. I took my number and waited. Finally, the clerk smiled politely and asked for my identification. She entered my social security number into her computer. Then everything stopped. She stared at the monitor without speaking. Her fingers froze above the keyboard. She checked the number again. She asked if I was certain it belonged to me. I nodded. She quietly stood up and walked into another office. A few minutes later, she returned with her supervisor. He carefully typed the number himself. His expression changed immediately. He looked directly into my eyes and whispered one word: protected. It meant. He explained that my social security number had been flagged decades earlier because it was connected to an international child identity investigation. The government records showed unusual activity connected to my birth records from 1994. My heart started racing. He apologized and said they needed to verify my identity before processing anything. Within an hour, investigators from another federal office arrived. I thought I was in trouble. Instead, they began asking questions about my childhood. Where was I born? Who raised me? Did I remember moving as a child? Did I have baby photographs? Did anyone ever mention adoption? I answered every question honestly. Days later, I received a phone call asking me to return. They explained that my birth certificate had multiple conflicting records. Someone had altered official documents years earlier. My biological father had never abandoned me. He had spent years searching for a missing child. That missing child was me. Their investigation revealed that after my birth, my mother secretly changed my identity with help from another individual during a custody dispute. My biological father had reported me missing, but authorities believed the records showing my new identity. The case eventually became part of an international database because of concerns about child identity fraud. No one ever connected the records until the Medicaid system upgraded its verification process. My entire life had been built on a lie. My biological father was alive. He had searched for me for more than 20 years. When we finally met, neither of us could speak for several minutes. He showed me old photographs, newspaper advertisements, legal documents, and letters he had written every birthday, hoping one day I would read them. He never stopped looking. He never stopped believing I was alive. For the first time in my life, someone looked at me with unconditional love. As the truth spread, more relatives contacted me. Many admitted they suspected something was wrong but were afraid to challenge the story. Their investigation continued. Records confirmed multiple false statements had been made during the custody battle. Civil lawsuits followed. Financial settlements were negotiated. Most importantly, my legal identity was finally corrected. I returned to school using education assistance. I completed a degree. I built a stable career helping children whose identities had been stolen or hidden. Every family who came to me reminded me why truth matters. Years later, I stood outside the same house where my stepfather had thrown me out. He opened the door slowly. Time had changed both of us. He apologized quietly. He admitted that he believed lies that were never true. I accepted his apology, but I could never erase those years. Forgiveness does not erase consequences. It simply frees your future from your past. The greatest victory was never revenge. It was finally knowing who I truly was. The words that once destroyed me no longer had power. You are not my blood. Those words became meaningless because the truth had finally spoken louder than every lie. Sometimes the greatest secrets are hidden inside ordinary documents. One forgotten record changed an entire lifetime of pain into a journey of truth. If this story teaches anything, it is that lies may survive for years, but truth only needs one moment to change everything forever.